That's crazy. What in the heck? How did y'all get this stuff? They don't even, I don't think they give this jersey out at my high school anymore. Skyline. If you're from my city, yeah, that's crazy. Samoan culture, honor is everything. So you want to make everybody proud. Hell of a ride in this one, bro. Skyline, this is kind of right around my city, where everything started, in terms of what I wanted to do, football player. So it's 28, I used to play running back. I was 250, 6 foot. There was no reason I should have been running the ball, but size wasn't something that I needed any more of. I just kept wanting to be like Adrian Peterson, but fell in love with O-line, D-line, bro. That's insane. I've been thinking this is the OG color too. No other kid was doing what I was doing, putting in extra work, and I knew I had what it took, so that's when I had to mentally kind of get up to speed. Just always laughing. We did more laughing than playing football. Really made me fall in love with just the camaraderie that you can build with it. We would play around with our head coach. I remember one time I tried to hit signal or run him over, and I did good. I stood him up, and you could tell he tasted it. But yeah, man, that's insane. I grew up a Raiders fan. I know it's kind of criminal to say that for the team I play for now. San Diego isn't by any means horrible in terms of where I'm from, but it's definitely parts where you definitely want to stay away from. I lived in those areas. You know, my mom was smart in throwing me into sports early. That's what it was. It was just more being locked out and having your back against the wall. A lot of people, they don't make it up here, so I try to put on for my city as hard as I can, for sure. Pops. I went to his alma mater high school, so every time they called me Lil Nell, because that's my dad's name, Nelson, and they always said he was the most quickest, athletic, everything you wanted in a athlete, he had. So obviously they try to instill that stuff onto me, but I quickly kind of made my own name for sure, especially in high school.
So there was no pressure to grow up and play baseball?
No, not baseball. I mean, I tried it. I couldn't hit the ball for at all. It was not something I was all right, let's stop doing this, because it was starting to get silly, but nah. So this is my blood uncle. My mom and obviously the people who are in higher ups in the NFL told me everything I needed to know about him. Their stunned and shockedness of their face kind of set it off. But I remember when I first got my first scholarship offer, he was the first one to kind of reach out and was telling me what it's gonna take, what it's gonna be like. And Samoan culture, you don't ever want to kind of honor is everything, so you want to make everybody proud, especially at a young age. I was definitely locked in at a very young age, more than probably most kids are. Even going on these visits, people knew oh yeah, we know who that is and stuff like that. So I'm half black and half Samoan, but I was raised by my Samoan side for sure. We're very family oriented in everything we do, so him reaching out for one was a big key to me. This definitely sparked the dream a lot bigger. Even though my last name is Simmons, I definitely, want people to know this is a second last name to me. Yeah, so this one was where I kind of knew I could play in the NFL. People don't know this, but I was actually homeschooled. So me coming into high school, literally all I know is football and workout. When I got there, it was just really business-like, go in there, play football, come home, wake up and do it again. I think my junior year in high school, I was just getting just around a scholarship a day. And that was all just because and I didn't even play my whole junior year in high school. But the fact that I got 6 games worth and was able to kind of really spark those opportunities was big, because I don't think my family knew to the degree that I could do it. The way it picked up was kind of quick, especially with COVID and all that stuff, but this is different, man. This was kind of when I knew, where my confidence as a football player started to really You know, like you're walking on the field and like you're not nervous at all. Like you know exactly what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. Definitely keep that same confidence pattern, how I listen to music, how I study, how I prepare and stuff like that. So it definitely started all with this right here. The person who wore this before me, Samson New, was actually a really good football player. Like to the point where they were about to stop like making this jersey. They didn't kind of want, you know, just anybody getting this jersey. So it took a lot of work to get the person who was handing out jerseys to get this, but I know I had to like show out with it, and that's kind of what I felt like I was trying to do. I'm more surprised. I thought I lost this. This one right here, this is where I learned, thanks to Coach Day, Coach Fry, about how to be a pro. It was originally 72, like I always wore 72 growing up. In college, they didn't have that number in San Diego State. Kind of bounced around because there's always like a vet, but 71 for me, you know, obviously when it's my time to get on the field, I'm speaking stuff in existence. There's a lot of great football players who wear that number, so. This laid a great foundation of what it looks like. So me coming from my last school before Ohio State, we're not really playing in January. So it was more about just kind of being the best you could be and then getting what you could out of there. So with me being at Ohio State, all I really could do was just look around me and then pick up from the older people. So any accolade that an offensive lineman could have got, I was aiming for it, working for it in practice, like every little thing. So you go down with the injury in probably the biggest game of the season to that point. Obviously it's frustrating. You know, with that camaraderie and that brotherhood, you're able to lean on them, and your brothers, you know, still got the job done. So I was, to say the least, was very happy. You know, they obviously wanted me to come back. I just knew I wanted to be a pro. I think I had every tendency, every habit, like to just be a pro, whether it was hitting the playbook, whether it was recovery. Got with the best surgeons, got with the best PT people. That way, come time to first kickoff for my team, I'll be ready if my name is called.
Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons.
There was a few teams that I got a gist of who was going to take me, and I didn't know which one it was at all. So after I think around like the 23rd pick, I started like, all right, there's probably two, maybe one team that'll take me. Good old Brett dialed my phone and then made me a Chief. I know Arrowhead is rocking. They said it's almost louder, if not as loud as Penn State. So that is a big, big claim if you're a Big Ten fan. So can't wait. Obviously, there's a lot of vets and stuff like that. But if my name is called, I will definitely make sure they did not regret, you know, calling my name.